Hi, I'm Jeff Ludy, and today I want to talk to you about the 3 P's. Now, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I had my first business when I was 6 years old. And in fact, my first business was selling worms. All of the kids on the street that I lived on sold lemonade. They had lemonade stands. I had a worm stand. Now you'd ask, why would I have a worm stand? Well, because we were about a mile from a lake, and I was digging around in my backyard one day, and I found all these worms, and I put 2 and 2 together. So obviously, I outperformed my neighboring kids who were selling lemonade. Fishermen wouldn't stop for lemonade, but they would stop for live worms. And ever since then, I have had about maybe a dozen businesses in my career. I'd say about half of them failed and the other half have been successful. And that is part of learning, right? Because learning is part of growing. And if you're not learning, you're not growing. And that's why we have this YouTube channel, to answer questions, to educate people, because I want to help entrepreneurs, I want to help businessmen, businesswomen to be able to grow their business and to be successful at what they do. And I love doing it too. So today we're talking about the 3 P's. Now this is something I came up with, and I don't know, it was a stroke of genius. You'd be the judge. But all of my best thinking comes in the shower. You know, I have like these 45-minute showers. You should see my light bill, but you know, we can write that off because I'm actually working in the shower, okay? But the 3 P's of being successful, and I think this translates across any kind of business, any kind of, whether it be a service business, if it's retail, if it's wholesale, whatever the case is. So you ready for the 3 P's? The first one is product. Like pretty much everybody has a product of some sort that they sell. Now, right now, I own a company called Houston Window Experts, and we have over a dozen brands of windows and doors to choose from. Like we have Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Windsor, a lot of different products. And having products is important. And the better your product is, perhaps the better your business will be, right? And having choices and having products and having quality of products and being able to display those, being able to promote those and help people understand how this product is going to help them is very important. So if you had a product that was subpar, immediately you're going to have to be the cheapest guy in town, because you can't really sell your product based on its qualities. You've got to sell it on something else, whether it be the speed of performance, or whether it be how much it cost, or that the fact that you deliver, or something else. But if the product's not very good, you have a problem. So think about your product and how that is a very important component part of your business, and how you maximize doing that. So I remember when I owned a restaurant. I owned a restaurant for 12 years. My wife and I started it in Amarillo, Texas. In fact, it's still there. If you ever go by I-40 in Amarillo, Texas, it's called Macaroni Joe's. And Macaroni Joe's, our big focus was on product, right? And of course on the experience and service, because those are the important things to a restaurant. But all the time, people would ask us, you know, where do you get this steak? Oh my gosh, this stuff is so good. The product was superb to what the other people in my market were offering. In fact, one time a guy looked at our menu, because we printed a menu every night, and he said, you say you've got a steak that you flew in FedEx from Culpeper, Virginia, and it's supposed to be a 45-day dry-aged steak. He said, I don't believe it, because it was like $75, right? And this was like in 2002. And I said, well, if I can produce the shipping label, would you buy one? He said, all right, I'll buy 2. He wants one, I want one. So I went back to the dumpster and I pulled out the FedEx box, right, with the shipping label, and I brought it to the tailor. He said, oh man, you got me. I said, all right, now you owe me buying a nice bottle of wine, because you can't eat a $70 steak and drink cheap wine. So you get where I'm going with product, right? So product is important. Having a good product is the first key to being successful as a business owner. What's the second P? Product is the first one. The second P is process. You've got to have a great process. So for the restaurant example, right, the process would be you need a good chef. You need a good software program where people can make reservations online. You need to have a good system where when they come in, they have parking available to them, right? You got to be very clear with your menu. It's got to have a big enough font that if you have a dimly lit restaurant, the people who are sitting there reading the menu can actually see the menu. You've got to have clean silverware. You've got to have a server who brings the stuff out efficiently. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into process, not just process, but being able to even cook the stuff properly, you need the right equipment to do that. Now, in the window business, for example, for us, what's very important in our process is communication. I mean, that's really important to people, because if you buy windows and we get a 50% deposit from you for custom-made windows, and it takes 3 months or something to get those windows in, people are going to say, I gave you $50,000 towards my window project, or $100,000 towards my window project, and did he run off with my money? I haven't heard from this guy. I mean, I like this product, but I haven't heard from him. It's been 3 months. And they start getting nervous. So process is very important in communication and how you do things. And if you don't have a great process, but you have a great product, you're still going to be in trouble. Process, number 2. Number 3, ready? Yeah, you guessed it, people. Yes, the people you hire are critical to the success of the first 2. I have a video about how much should I pay an employee. And when you watch that video, you're going to learn that if you want good quality people, just like if you want good quality product, it's going to cost more. If you're not spending more, you're not going to get more. You pay what you get for. So people are critical to this process as well. Think about this in the restaurant environment. If you had the great steak, you had a great atmosphere, a great wine list, great service, but a bad chef, who's going to eat your steak again? You overcook the steak, you undercook the steak, you drop the steak on the ground. I mean, think of all the things that can happen when the people aren't in the right place. Now, in the window business that I have now, what's important with people is the people who go to the home, the people who answer the phone, but probably more important, like the chef of this industry, would be the people who are installing the windows. What great is it to have how good is it to have a great product, a great window, right? Like a Pella window or something. And to have great communication, a great process, and then the day of installation, your guys just don't know what they're doing. Well, that wouldn't work. You can't be successful. I like to think of this as kind of like that golden triangle, right? Where all 3 of these need to be equally important. The product you have, the process you have, and the people you have. Now, let me tell you a quick story, and I could tell you a bunch, but I'll just tell you one. A few weeks ago, I had to go to Miami to look at a new product because I wanted to see the product in person. I didn't want to just see the website. I didn't want to just read the brochures. I wanted to witness it for myself, and I wanted to see their process, and I wanted to see their people. And that's why we went there. We rented a car from a company called Sixt, S-I-X-T. You can look them up. Man, I love their cars. They've got BMWs, they've got Mercedes, they've got Jaguars, and of course they got some other cars too that are more affordable, but you know, it's kind of fun when you travel somewhere to like, hey, let's get a car like something I haven't driven. I like to see what it's like. So they have a lot of great car options, and they're really affordable. So I like their product. Now, what I didn't like was their process. So we get off the plane, we get on a tram, then we switch to another tram, then we go down an elevator, then we go up an elevator. But that wasn't the worst part. I can blame the airport for that. What I'm going to blame Sixt for, and by the way, I filled out their feedback form, so I gave them a chance to learn from this as well. But what I blame them for is when we got there were probably 30 people in front of me in the line in front of me. And they had this line where it was kind of one of those weaving S-shaped lines, and it took almost an hour for me to pick up that car. Almost an hour. And as I was weaving through it, I started observing things, and I started looking around, and I got to realizing there were people, old people, who had a hard time standing, and they kept walking in that line. There were young moms and dads that had small children. They were holding a child. There were people with big strollers, trying to maneuver throughout this thing. And I thought to myself, I like going to Baskin Robbins. You ever go to Baskin Robbins? Or you go to that marble slab where they make the ice cream? I like that you come in, you grab a ticket, okay? And then you wait till your number's called. And they had, in the airport, right outside of there was all this seating, completely empty, and everybody was standing in line. And I thought to myself, why don't they have a system where you pull a ticket, you go sit down. Maybe mom gets to sit down with the baby and keep the baby happy, or walk them around, and then when it's your turn, they call you up. Now, that's a terrible process. Then I got to the very front, and it was my turn. And unfortunately, the person that was working on my project, on my car, just wasn't very pleasant. So I was already kind of irritated, and I really wanted to get on the road. It was Florida, and it was beautiful. I wanted to get out and go. And yet here I am stalled. And then the person, their process also was not very good when I got right to the counter. I had reserved everything online. I'd done all this work. It took him almost 15 minutes by the time I got to his little station to complete the process. I mean, typing and clicking and clicking and typing. I thought, what are you doing? Are you waiting for the car to get built? I just don't get it. So my experience was great before I got there. My experience was great after I got my car. In fact, returning it was actually terrific. But that part in the middle just is a choke point for that business. And they've got to find a better way to do it. So if you want to be successful in business, you need to pay attention to the 3 Ps: your product, your process, and your people. Now, if you have a question, you can email me at ask@jeffludy.com. That's ask, I'll put it right here, ask@jeffludy.com, and we'll make a video about your question. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button. Okay, that's what helps YouTube show this video to other people just like you. And if you're interested in what we're doing and you think we're doing a good job, don't forget to hit subscribe. So you'll be notified when we have a new video. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day.